Chattanooga CEP has taken a few midseason hits to the roster, but they still have talent in the tank. They spent Chicago in the Challengers Division after getting knocked down at the second event, but they didn't play well enough to make it back to the Champions Division. They have solid attackers, but they've had problems with survivability and penalties in the past. They need to keep up the steady attack they normally bring, but focus on refining their game and taking advantage of the situations that they create. Captain Robbie Goldsmith was absent at the last event, but he will be in Riverside. Their highest-ranked player, Mike Zupa, played hyper-aggressive on the D side in Chicago, where they went 3-1. They also have missiles in Osvaldo Lopes, Evan Fife, and Peter Velarde, who can all win points. They'll be missing John Ruza, but should have a strong enough squad to earn their way out of the Challengers Division at the West Coast Open if they play up to their potential. Few teams in the PSP have a legacy as deep as Chicago Aftershock, but the historic team has struggled to regain their former glory and hang with the top teams. They've had a few roster changes, but they still have a group of young talent who are aggressive and hungry to get better. Karl Markowski, who was an awesome talent years ago and might just be the fastest man who has ever played pro paintball, has come back to play with Aftershock. Their captain, AJ Lawhead, is the heart and soul of the team, and they've been getting a ton of production from Brian McKenna and Rob Velez. With their wild style, Shock is very entertaining to watch, and they do have a chance to move up the ranks as long as they stay focused on taking advantage of the opportunities that they create on the field.
Welcome back here, 2013 PSP West Coast Open. Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez and Chris Lasoya. We're about to watch Chattanooga CEP take on Chicago Aftershock, and we saw a little interview with Mikey Bruno, legendary player and the coach of Aftershock right now. So, you know, I mean, what do you guys think about these two teams? We've seen them play. They fought in the, we only had the professional division last year until it split into two professional divisions. And Shock really struggled trying to rebuild their squad. But they got a lot of young, hungry guys on that team. So looking forward to seeing what they bring here. And CEP played great yesterday.
Yeah, I think that they did a good job, again, like I said before, by picking up a little bit of experience. Karl Markowski is going to help them greatly. But all these guys we've seen great games out of. AJ Lawhead, Caleb Abel, Brian McKenna, Rob Velez. We've seen these guys play well. It's all just about these guys playing well as a unit, playing together, and putting things together as a team.
So here we go. You're looking at Chattanooga CEP on your screen right now, and you know where Osvaldo Lopez is going to go. He's going for the snake for sure. He's one of those snake specialists. And he used to play on the Ironman for a while, came down out to help out CEP. So here we go. Osvaldo digging out. Oh, not able to make it. He gets shot off the break. Split screen breakout. CEP on your right and Chicago Aftershock on your left. Shock striking first, getting Osvaldo.
There he is, number 19, Karl Markowski, using that blazing speed coming out of the back, going straight into Dorito 2. CEP matching him up, jumping into Dorito 2 as well, but CEP loses another body off the snake side, and Robbie Goldsmith out of the back center, and number 4, Peter Velarde, all at the same time. So
look at Caleb Abel just handling it over here.
There it was, Caleb Abel coming down the snake and just ripping bodies apart. 3 of those Chattanooga players died, just one after another. And that's going to give Shock the first point.
So AJ Lawhead is going to run that flag in. So nice job by Chicago Aftershock to go up on the board, strike first. Caleb Abel, 3 confirmed kills for him. And we'll be right back after this. So welcome back, 1 point into this Shock CEP matchup. Shock taking the first point. And we, you know, in this particular matchup, we know Osvaldo's going to be coming towards the snake side of the field. Shock knows that, and look what they did right away. They were able to isolate and get that shot in on Osvaldo. So, and then Caleb Abel, man, really one of those guys that got picked up on Shock halfway through last year and really stood out from that team. So looking for big things out of Caleb Abel the rest of this match too. We also saw Carl Markowski coming down that snake side of the field, and you could probably say the most important member of Chicago Aftershock is AJ Lawhead, because of the amount of time he spent on that team, and really emerging as a leader out there, really helping Mikey Bruno guide that team and trying to get back to the pinnacle of the sport.
Of all the games that we've watched so far, people trying to make this temple on the snake side, I feel like that is the shot. You should hit that shot. The way I was down there, me and you, Chris, were looking at the lanes this morning, and we're like, how do people not hit the guy going to the temple or the corner?
I know.
And then it's like people continue to run there. The good teams are hitting the shot. The teams that are inconsistent aren't. And right now, Aftershock's hitting that shot. And they shoot 2 bodies off the break, 1 up the middle, 1 out of the back center.
Carl Markowski runs running and shooting to the Dorito 1, and now flies past that into the 50-yard line.
God, he's so fast.
And shoots somebody else too. And so Shock is looking real good right now. Carl Markowski breaking into the backfield down that Dorito side of the field before he ends up getting taken out, but the rest of the crew from Aftershock able to take out those last players.
Looking crisp.
Yeah, nice job by Brian McKenna. So Brian McKenna, Carl Markowski, and Caleb Abel combining for the kills so far for Chicago Aftershock in these first 2 fast points that they have put on the board. 18:43 remains in the game.
Carl looks fast,
so
man.
Fast, man. He hasn't lost a step.
No, he hasn't. I mean, and I did speak to him the other day, and he looks in great shape. He was younger when he started playing pro.
Carl's a freak of nature, man. I swear. He's one of those guys when you go up to him and you hit him on the back, like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? It feels like you're hitting this table.
Yeah.
He actually tried. There was like an open tryout, I think, for the Cincinnati Reds, and he went to the tryout, like made it to the second weekend, just based on athleticism alone.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, and he's a fantastic. His field awareness is great.
He came and actually tried out for our Wednesday night softball league one time. And just cranked about a 400-foot homer over the fence, over the parking lot, into the preschool, about 3 blocks down.
1 at-bat, 1 home run.
I don't know why the Reds didn't pick him up.
But anyway, we got the whole Aftershock team is looking really crisp right now. Very fast, shooting great lanes in the break. CEP staying out of the box, so that's a feat in itself.
Well, with McKenna and Lawhead, you got Davey Simmons out there too. They've got a lot of talent. I mean, when you really look at what each one individually that the players on Shock have done over the past year or 2 years, they're all capable of playing on a team. They are all capable, should they come together, to contend. But that's been their big problem, is that they don't have any problem getting to spots. I mean, half the time, the other team might as well let them start in the 50s, but it's the mental decision that they make from there that dictates whether or not they win or lose.
You're right, and they got 2 more little speedsters over here. Con Wynn, number 69, he's coming up the middle right now, and Davey Simmons getting their first rep this game. Con Wynn takes a bounce coming up to that A, and here goes Osvaldo on the fill. Con Wynn looks the wrong way and lets Osvaldo fill out and get shot.
AJ Lawhead walking off early for Shock too, so this is CEP's chance to get back in this game here. It's Colin Cherry, Steve Nicola, James Butts, and Osvaldo now moving his way down the snake side of the field, backed up by Tim Danchik, who gets out wide.
Cliff Ginter, Davey Simmons, Brian McKenna still alive for Aftershock. There's Osvaldo on your screen right now in Snake 2. If you were with us and saw when Osvaldo was explaining how to play the snake, you know that he knows all the shots, who he can shoot from every leg, and he dives right into Snake 3, tries to get a shot across the field, but gets shot on his inside shoulder, and he's going to walk off, and that's going to free Davey Simmons up to come into Snake 2 and start shooting across the field at Steve Nicola over there in the tall tower.
Yeah, Matty, you were just talking about Davey Simmons a second ago.
Yeah, Davey Simmons he's a missile. Shock has nothing but missiles, it seems like. And now Davey Simmons looks like he might have shot the back corner bunker out, trying to get the ref to pull him out. He did. So here comes Davey Simmons pushing down the snake side of the field. Right now, you're looking at the back. There's Davey Simmons on your screen. And CEP, only 2 players left alive, Todd.
Yeah, there's Nicola right there, 77. Just to the inside of him. Or, I'm sorry, to the outside of him is number 99, James Butts. The last 2 bodies for CEP.
They look pretty good right now, actually. I mean, I thought CEP actually was going to have that game. They looked like they were good field position. Osvaldo was in the snake, but caught one across the field. Now Davey Simmons, you know, look across the field. He's got the Dorito one over there, Todd.
Yeah.
Just chilling out. Just 2-on-2 situation. Davey Simmons, Brian McKenna against Steve Nicola and James Butts.
Yeah, ball's in CEP's court, down to 16:31 on the clock. And with this lead, Chicago Aftershock, not only do they have the lead, they have the spots too.
Yeah, Chicago Aftershock had a 3-on-2 though before Cliff Ginter threw his body away. Davey Simmons should have been crawling all the way down to where he just made that move in the snake 2 of CEP, because now he's in their snake 1, and there is nothing that either of those towers can do about it. Nicola right now looking to make a move to free up some space, but tried to come into the blind zone, but stuck his gun out a little too far, allowed Davey Simmons to blow his gun apart, and now Davey Simmons should be able to clean him up as he does. So good job right there to close out the game by Davey Simmons, getting the last 2 kills. All they had to do was cross to the other side of the field, go all the way down the end of the snake.
You know, Todd, you watch this field pretty good now. We come back from this commercial break. Let's talk about something real quick. I want to get your point on something.
All right, so 3-0 still in favor of Chicago Aftershock here. Looking really good in this game.
Fantastic. You know, and Todd, what I was going to bring up is once you get to snake 1, and what I mean by snake 1 is where Davey Simmons was on that game, and there are no 2 towers across the field. Is there any way to stop that? I mean, is it just pretty much a free-for-all, just a couple seconds before you get out there and take those guys out, or how does it work?
I mean, really, the only gap you need to cross is the gap from the 50 across the snake 3, because the only guy that can really stop you is if there's a guy in the Dorito 2 who has basically a clear shot right through that gap. And then, yeah, you crawl all the way down to snake 1. If it's just the guys on the Dorito side of the field, even if the guy's in the back center, I mean, you really have to blow a snapshot to be able to not hit those guys, because all those bunkers are pretty much on the same parallel line with the flag station. So, well, with all them being in a line like that, you're pretty much blocked out with either of those bunkers, and you can jump into the small temple on the snake side and stand up in that and play. But I mean, once you get into that snake 1, there's really nobody that can stop you.
Well, that's what you talk about. Davey Simmons right there making a good power move.
So CEP getting ready to roll here. Need to get on the board. That dreaded 3-point spread has reared up. And now they are forced to fight back. But it looks like Chicago Aftershock starting to lose bodies now off of that Dorito side of the field. And it is Davey Simmons and Carl Markowski who are taking the walk early here.
And Carl Markowski got to that inside tower, looked to go, and as soon as he got one step out of his bunker, got shot in the face. CEP knew that Carl Markowski was over there and actually loaded 3 guns to that side.
Oh, he's so fast, man. I mean, I'd want to stop him myself too. You know, right now, you got coming up the middle, number 14 right there, Robbie Goldsmith, captain of CEP. Oh, Osvaldo trying to get a snake. It just AJ Lawhead's left on Chicago Aftershock. And here comes Robbie Goldsmith up the middle of the field.
And Robbie Goldsmith's getting some help. CEP starts putting the pressure on. Yeah, this is first game for CEP over here on the Champions field. I thought they played pretty well in the semifinals last event. You know, I thought they had a pretty good event to get themselves an opportunity to play on Sunday in the Challengers Division last event, and unfortunately came up a game short. But, you know, getting back 1 point here, getting back into this game, 3-1 Aftershock. We'll be right back after this.
So welcome back here, and now we got ourselves a match as CEP is able to put a point on the board. Now only 2 points separate these two teams, 15 minutes left to play. Also, definitely want to bring up something that's pretty important, I think, to everyone that's played competitive paintball. Jay Ford, who used to play for Nexus, passed away because of cancer, and they're actually doing a fundraiser to support cancer charities. So please go onto Facebook and search JF, stands for Jay Ford, just JF21 fundraiser on Facebook, and please contribute anything you can. They actually have a bunch of prizes that are going to be raffled off to everyone that contributes. Entry to the UWL and World Cup that Tom Cole has put up, so a lot of people supporting, in memory of Jay Ford. So here we go. Can CEP fight back? We will see. On the breakout, can Chicago keep 5 bodies alive? No, Markowski walks off early, and 2 actually come off early for Chicago Aftershock. So this is now going to be an opportunity for Chattanooga to get back in here if they can keep their bodies alive, but they lose Robbie Goldsmith off the break. And I think they just lost their back center too.
One thing that I see from Aftershock that I don't usually see is they're keeping it together when they lose bodies. I like seeing them they're going to work. You see CEP on their heels right now. Chicago Aftershock still dropped 2 bodies. They're actually getting down the snake right now, as you see right here. It's going to work.
Well, yeah, Chicago Aftershock's got Caleb Abel into snake 2, and it looked bad for them to start out with, but they were able to get 2 kills themselves. So now Jane Butts, Peter Velarde, and Mike Zupa are going to be thrown down against Velez, Lawhead, and Abel for Chicago Aftershock, but Aftershock much better field position on this snake side of the field with Caleb Abel. And then you're looking at the Doritos side right there for CEP, as they have a player in really good field position at that 50-yard line. Dorito trying to get a shot on this man that you're looking at right there on your screen from Chicago Aftershock, all the way up in the center. I believe that's AJ Lawhead.
And right now, Aftershock in this 50 snake over here, just wrapped all the way out around on the inside, putting pressure across the field on CEP. Robbie Goldsmith getting a good shot on the break, but losing him is that big gun out of the center. They got James Butts, Peter Velarde, and Mike Zupa still alive. And here's the move right now. Caleb Abel coming across into their snake 2, and he's going to get a shot in on Mike Zupa in that mini Dorito on the snake side. And there he goes, Chris, right to the end of snake 1.
Caleb Abel knows the shots in on the snake real well.
And you see he's going to come, get on his feet. He's going to shoot Velarde in the back, and nobody can really see him unless you pick him up, unless you know he's there and you pick him up coming across that gap. It's really hard to stop, and now he can just trot over to the Dorito side of the field.
Caleb Abel going to work. He got a 4-pack on that one.
Yeah, good job by Abel, and that was a good job by Lawhead to get up and protect him, to keep anybody from coming across to match him up. Yeah, when you saw him in that center can with his body contorted all the way to the inside, just pounding his gun towards that snake side, not letting the player fill out past that mini Dorito.
So also take your chance early to sign up for the 2013 PSP World Cup, October 17th through the 20th. It's going to be held at the Fantasia Flight. It's a little outside of Polk City, Florida. Go to pspevents.com, get your team in there. It's going to be between 350 to 400 teams at the greatest spectacle of any paintball tournament on earth, and the most prestigious tournament to win in any division. You get to win World Cup in any division, you get to put that on your mantle forever. It's a big stripe.
It's a great tournament. They put on a really good show down there. I mean, Fantasia Flight's really good spot down there.
Yeah, nice grass.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's it's also easy to rent houses down there pretty cheap, so you can put the whole team in one house, which adds to the fun adventure of having everyone together. It's better than hotels. And so we're going to be right back with a little bit more of this Aftershock CEP match. Chicago is in the driver's seat, though, 4-1. 12 minutes and 54 seconds to go. We'll be right back.
PaintballDojo.com. Support your favorite pro teams. Get your name printed on pro team gear. PaintballDojo.com. Lifestyle gear for players. Full color and completely custom options. You can build custom designs straight from our website. Gear available for both men and women. PaintballDojo.com. Lifestyle gear for players.
Here we go, CEP. on your screen on the breakout. Osvaldo Lopez trying to make it out. And looks like, I think that was Markowski getting shot, trying to get it. No, Brian McKenna. Brian McKenna gets shot in the center. Here comes Markowski to the 50-yard line, though. And he also has a player right behind him. So Shock in real good field position. And here comes CEP on the snake side, number 62, Tim Danchik, able to get into snake 1, and he's going to try to dip a shot in on Markowski.
Markowski now turns to the outside. Was going to try and stand up and wrap.
Oh, look at this big run through by Markowski. He hasn't even got shot yet. Still, no one has put a shot on Markowski. Markowski gets himself 4-pack, completely clearing out. The rest of the field has to wave off the rest of his team so they don't shoot him. And that's why Carl Markowski was a star, man.
Unbelievable.
It was a sad day for paintball when he walked away, but thank God he's back for Chicago Aftershock, just dominating out there up the center.
Jeez.
Blazing fast, man.
That was fast.
His fast switch muscles are ridiculous. See how fast he's whipping his gun back and forth on those lanes?
I think it's a nervous twitch.
You know, when we had our tryouts for Vicious, I got a Facebook message the day we were having tryouts, or right the week we were having tryouts. Somebody was like, "Hey, I'm Carl Markowski's friend. He wants to know if he can come try out."
Well, let's check out this replay from the best move we've seen all tournament long. Markowski did a launch from that center. Dorito, he comes through. No one's picked him up, going as fast as you can go through there. And he gets himself, I think it was a 4-pack. Yeah, got himself a 4-pack. So 4 confirmed kills in that 1 point in that run through from Carl Markowski, pushing into 4 guns.
Wow.
And then he had to wave the rest of the guys off.
That guy's got speed that not many people have. You know, like it was just, again, bad timing. Didn't really, get in touch with him before the tryouts. Ended up picking Luis Munoz and Keith DeVitt. But, a little bit better communication. Carl Markowski might have been playing with us. But I'm glad that he's playing with Aftershock, because I think that he could definitely help them out a lot. They need some experience. They need some weapons. Some people that can really help them work their way back into the Champions Division.
Chicago Aftershock's always been one of those blue-collar, hardcore Midwest brawler-type teams. And, Carl Markowski's a blue-collar guy from the Midwest, so he totally fits being on that team. And Carl was always an aggressive machine, and that's kind of fits right with the rest of the guys they have on the team. Totally merges very well. So, and he's doing some work for them out there right now.
Update over there in the Challengers Division over there. 5-2 right now. Excessive is down. They're just not looking too good over there right now. Looks like they're having a rough weekend a little bit. I mean, they're playing good. Seattle Thunder seems to be playing pretty decent against them. So 5-2 as of right now. 13:40 left in that game over there. A lot of stellar talent out here this weekend, though, Maddie and Todd. I mean, I like some of these games are awesome. Like I said, today felt like it's Sunday at 4 o'clock watching some of these games.
Oh, my God, that Dynasty Heat game was intense.
It was intense.
As Heat taking down Dynasty in overtime. Wow, that was an amazing game, 7-6. But also, we haven't even got to the afternoon competition from the Champions Division as X Factor, Union, Top Gun Union, Impact, Infamous, and Damage are all going to be competing this afternoon. Right after the conclusion of this match, 5-1 in favor of Chicago Aftershock.
Aftershock doubling up that back center right now. They lose their wide guy. Heading out to the Dorito side, but they got 2 bodies over here on the snake side, and they're going to attack the middle right now. Lock off the Dorito side, but they did shoot a CEP player off the Dorito side, and winning a snapshot right there against that tall tower. Peter Velarde gets shot. I think that's AJ Lawhead up in the middle right now for Chicago Aftershock, just using the blind spot. Oh, and they get Robbie Goldsmith out of the back center. And here comes Caleb Abel in the 50 again for Chicago Aftershock.
Shock looks good, man. They're beating a team right now that went 2-0 yesterday. And Shock looking really solid.
So there you got Velez, Lawhead over there on CEP side of the field. Abel's in the 50, Rapp in the middle. Davey Simmons right behind him. And Velez going to run it up as well towards the flag, but horn's going to be blown by CEP.
Shock is athletic. They're fast. They're aggressive. They like to take risks. if this team just gets a little bit more seasoning and maybe just a couple guys to step up and be like a Yosh Rao type player, they really could have a chance to get back into the Champions League and contend there, given a little bit of time. So we're going to be right back after this. Chicago Aftershock 1 point away from demolishing Chattanooga CEP. See you in a second.
I first picked up a paintball gun when I was 9. I used to stand around at the field and stare at the Ironman players, hoping for a shot. I earned my way onto the team when I was 15. We won 2 world titles. When I blew my knee out for the second time, the doctor told me I'd never play again, but I refused to let go of my dream. I'm an Ironman, and paintball is my life.
So it looks like CEP is going to have a call a timeout now. Let's talk a little bit about this afternoon Champions Division competition. X Factor and Top Gun, the first game up. What do you guys think about that matchup?
X Factor 0-2 right now. So is Union 0-2. Both of them, one is -6, one is -10. So they equally are having a horrible tournament.
Yeah.
You know, so let's take a look at the schedule, Maddie.
Yeah. So there it is, the rest of the afternoon competition. Next up after that, X Factor, Top Gun, Union is going to be Impact and Infamous. Todd, what do you think about that game?
Well, Infamous needs to step it up. I mean, they started playing better in their second game against Damage, but still lost to Damage. When they came out their first game against Union, I mean, they had to come back. They started off really slow, had to come back to pull out a 4-3 win. So Impact was just dominating people yesterday. So hopefully Infamous came out and went and talked about things a little bit more, try and put together some better game plans against Impact, or otherwise it could be a rough one for them. You know, I'm going off of, you know, just the way they played yesterday. Today's a new day, but Impact looking really solid. Dave Baines shooting people on the break. But it was really all about the Dorito side for them. Justin Cornell and Greg Sewers were just everywhere. They were getting to that Dorito 2 at will and then just allowing their Snake guys to come in. They were only sending Justin Rabikoff over to the Snake side because Dave Baines was pretty consistently shooting guys off the Snake side and allowing Justin Rabikoff to not have to force his way in. With all the pressure taken off him from the Dorito side guys getting up so far, Justin Rabikoff could take his time and methodically move up into the field and then get kills when he needed to.
Yeah, and then after that Impact or X Factor Impact Infamous game, Damage is going to take on Top Gun, and that is going to be a tall order for Top Gun. We'll see how Top Gun plays against X Factor, but X Factor and Top Gun, like you were saying, Chris, both really not having a great tournament at all, and Damage playing pretty solid. So that's going to be a big test for Top Gun, and then Infamous plays X Factor and Damage and Impact. So we'll keep you guys informed as to the importance of those games as we move on and who's going to move on to play, who's going to have to play in that relegation game. And tomorrow morning, you are going to definitely want to watch tomorrow morning. You're going to see some of the most emotional paintball played all year long, other than maybe the World Cup final.
I'm looking forward to the last game.
In those relegation games, you lose, well, you're out of the Champions League for, and then on the flip side, the Challengers semifinals are going to dictate who plays in the Champions Division. So tomorrow morning is going to be super important.
Carl Markowski getting a little greedy right there, getting shot for the second time by Robbie Goldsmith. Con Wynn up in the Snake side of the A for Aftershock right now. Robbie Goldsmith is on the other side. Con Wynn going to come through and stuff Robbie Goldsmith. But Robbie Goldsmith is going to get him. They're going to trade out. But Aftershock still blazing up the field, just like always. They don't care if they're down bodies, up bodies. They attack all the time. Here they go. Dorito 2 to Dorito 2. Going to put the pinch on the mini Dorito right now for CEP. Just 2 bodies left. It's 2-on-2. Mike Zupa versus Peter Velarde. Right now, Aftershock, Brian McKenna, Cliff Ginter. Cliff Ginter's over there on the Dorito side, running down, and the first body drop is going to be Peter Velarde. Looks like Cliff Ginter attacking. It's a 2-on-1 right now.
You know,
no, here's Ginter. That's McKenna over there on the Dorito side, and McKenna is the one that is able to close out that game, attack that Dorito side hard. Cliff Ginter over here on the Snake side. Gonna walk up, meet his buddy at the flag, and say, "Hey, McKenna, good job." I like watching that from over here on the snake side.
Yeah. Amazing play right there by Chicago Aftershock. Very impressive win, 7-1 if the flag hang is clean over Chattanooga CEP.
Wow. So
Yeah, so they're going to hang it up, and the ref's going to check them out. So, wow, Chicago Aftershock went 1-1 yesterday, moving to 2-1, and looking outstanding doing it, playing against the team that went 2-0 yesterday. So next up, X Factor and Top Gun Union. Both teams need to show us something out here. And the big thing for X Factor is they need to keep out of the box. Again, last time it was Zach Wake, this time Dimitri Ninos, who has had a good year for them, and he's really a solid pickup, or he has been, but it's really frustrating when you got guys that you're counting on actually doing the opposite and hurting the team by getting tons of penalties. So, you know, Dimitri, there's definitely going to be a microscope on him today if he gets playing time.
would you play him?
I think I would.
You know,
I'd
I
play
had
him.
this problem last night. You know, Shane got 2 majors, DeVitt got 2 majors. And I'm sitting here going, I can't play these guys. I can't play these guys. If they get another major, you know, it's not their fault, it's my fault. You know, and then it came down to it, had to play Shane. You know, Phil was getting shot a little bit on the break because, you know, he's not as fast as Keith is. So I was like, I got to get Keith in for a point just to get him to a spot.
Yeah.
Got him into a spot, shot a guy, got a major.
Yeah. You know, it's frustrating.
It's tough, man.
It's tough because, again, you got to, yes, you do not want to have those guys get those penalties, but at the same time, do you want to hamstring the team by taking away weapons? I mean, they cut Zach Wake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of their snake guys. They did that because they knew they had Dimitri over here. Now, of course, they got Billy Bernaccia, but it is hot out here, and are you going to run Billy every single point on this chaotic snake and hope that he gets it done with Archie? I mean, yeah, that's definitely, you know, maybe yes, maybe so. Maybe that is the move. You know, I'm not Ryan Brand, and I'm not Paul Richards, so I don't know what they're going to decide to do. The thing, though, is that maybe it was just a bad day for Dimitri because that hasn't been his prerogative so far this year. He's played really good for them. Well, we'll find out real soon here. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly on the sideline.
I am down here with Brian McKenna of Aftershock. Congratulations on that win. What have you guys been working on since last tournament to make sure you had a better showing here in Riverside?
Well, in Chicago, we were a little upset once we left. You know, having 3-1 record and not making it into Sunday. So we went home, we worked on our lanes, worked on our edging. So we figured this field, how open it is, both snake side and Dorito side a little bit, that edging was going to be a huge thing. So we really keyed up on that over the last 2 weeks at practice.
What kind of plays and breakouts do you think are crucial to execute to make sure you get those points on the board?
Well, snake side, I mean, you can almost drive a semi through those lanes. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to come out edging the back center just to get his gun up for that split second so we can get our snake eye over there. But you know, making out wide, especially that snake side corner is key. It's just a matter of getting him there, and I think we figured out how to get him there properly and safely.
All right, well, up next, we are returning to the champions bracket. It will be X Factor versus Top Gun, and I'll be bringing you some more Challenger updates soon.